discourse will be with reference to the talk, speeches or debates between the students. It may be suggestions also which is being provided by the students or the teachers on certain explanation. There may be interaction between the student with reference to say communication. You all know what is communication. It is a two-way process between the teachers and the students. And it may also be discussion also. It is a form of oral discourse. So oral discourse, what is meant by oral discourse means oral discourse is an interaction between two persons using any explanation or any talking or any speech which is orally done, and it takes all this. Move to importance of oral discourse. Now explain the importance of oral discourse. So oral discourse is a basis. If you see in the classroom also, when the teacher is going to interact between the students and herself, there is need of communication between them. So oral discourse is a base or foundation of students' learning. So it is essential for literacy learning, and successful use of language is critical for students' well-being. Yes, classroom, you can imagine a classroom without any discussion or without any kind of oral communication with the students. It will not lead to the effectiveness of teaching and learning. So language or any medium of instruction is needed to communicate using oral discourse. So almost all classroom based learning relies on oral language. So oral discourse is nothing but using a language to communicate with the other persons or the audience in the classroom, namely the students. Now, why it is being communicated when a teacher or a student is going to speak in the classroom? What are the different things being cleared by using an oral discourse? It is clarifying concepts. If a student is not clear with any concept being explained, the teacher takes to explain this concept and clarifies this concept by way of oral talking or by way of oral discourse. So any concepts which is being clarified by the teacher using oral discourse. Second is it promotes interaction. Imagine a classroom of students without a teacher and a teacher being idle in the classroom. So there won't be any kind of interaction between a teacher and the student. Okay, so when there is oral discourse between two persons, maybe in the classroom we have two persons, especially the teacher and the student who are going to participate. So only through oral discourse can there be interaction promoted in the classroom. Thirdly, it develops confidence. How does it develop confidence? The students will feel like answering to the teacher's queries. And if the teacher is going to reciprocate by saying good, very good, through reinforcement, which is also a kind of oral discourse, so feedback which is being given, if it is in a positive outlook, the students are definitely going to develop their confidence. Next, we have vocabulary. Vocabulary means this, the group of words which a student is able to acquire over a period of time. So it enhances vocabulary means when the teacher is going to talk with the students and when the students are going to interact in a classroom, definitely new words would be coming out by the teacher's side, and the students are going to comprehend the new vocabulary or the new words. So over a period of time, lot of words are being exchanged between a teacher and the students. Thus, it enhances the vocabulary. Now, checks the pronunciation. Yes, if the teacher is going to ask certain queries or if the teacher is going to explain certain thing and the students are asked to give an answer or students are asked to respond, immediately the teacher is able to identify the problems in pronunciation, problems in say speech defects also you can say. If the students are not able to communicate properly, lack of confidence, everything can be checked through oral discourse. So it checks the pronunciation of the students. Diagnosis and remedial teaching. Yes, suppose for example, a teacher is identifying the pronunciation problem of a student relating to a particular word. She identifies, she finds out the root cause of such problem, and then she uses remedial teaching. That means, for example, she can provide more and more drills, more and more practices for the students so that they can check or improve their pronunciation. Okay. Next is retention is long lasting. Yeah, when you interact in a classroom, you will definitely remember the points which you had said in the classroom. You will also remember the teacher's, the response to you. Yeah, you can also, the retention is long lasting, that is the students retention power is lasted for a longer period of time because of the actual interaction in a classroom. Then it helps in problem solving. Any kind of problems which the students are facing in a classroom, it is being solved through interaction, through helping, through suggestion, through clarifying doubts, and asking the students to solve also certain, maybe if it is also relating to mathematics. So any kind of problem which the students is held up, maybe memory problems is there, maybe counting problem is there in memory, this teacher can help in such problem solving. Basically it is oral discourse. Then develops critical thinking. If higher order questions are put forward by the teacher in the classroom, okay, so the higher order questions like how and why questions are there, the students are definitely going to improve their critical thinking. Moreover, speaking skills, as I said, some students may be having speech defect, some students may not be confident in speaking out. So any kind of problem with reference to speaking can also be tackled. Now, structure. This question is also important, where it may be asked, explain the structure of discourse in a classroom. So when I say structure, it is basically divided into four parts. So discourse in a classroom can be divided into four structures. Okay. So what is the structure means? How does it look? How does it start? What are the components in a classroom? How does it go through? So all these are structure of discourse. So this is a common discourse structure which is being given in a classroom. Now the first is initiation, response, evaluation. It is as IRE. So it is initiation, it is a response followed with evaluation. Second is instructions, providing or giving instructions. Third is asking probing questions, probing like higher order questions, where the students may also ask, where the teachers also ask. So this is a part of an oral discourse in the classroom. Lastly, in the structure, that is argumentation. So let us see each one. The first one is first structure. It is IRE. It is a simple lesson in a classroom by a teacher, or when a teacher is interacting with the student. There is always an initiation. What is initiation? It's to start with, to activate, to initiate means to initially start. So what is the meaning of this? How does the teacher initiate her discussion or oral discourse? There are different ways. It may be the teacher may be asking questions, the student answers, teacher evaluates. This is the usual procedure which is being followed in the classroom. Okay, so the teacher may also ask a question, teacher may also initiate a discussion, teacher may also show certain charts and ask questions. So different forms which a teacher uses in the classroom to have a response from her students. Okay, so response from the students may be with reference to answers to the questions posed by the teacher. The students may give different types of answers. Again, it is an oral discourse. Moreover, once the student gives the answer, the teacher evaluates. Yes, is it correct? Is it wrong? If the teacher finds that is wrong, the teacher will have to correct it. The teacher may ask further questions so that the students are able to respond. In between, she will also explain certain things. Okay, it is not only question, answer, no. There are questions like in any kind of lessons, we have questions followed with the responses of the students, and if the students are giving proper answer, the teacher starts explaining the content which she is going to teach. And after every now and then the teacher is going to ask the questions in between so that the sequence continues. There should be a logical presentation in whatever she is going to teach. So the students' responses are usually brief, and the main concern of the student is to provide the answer that is expected by the teacher. So what is the role of the teacher here? She has to ask questions in order to pursue the desired answer. But only a few students are actively involved. So in this kind of what is happening usually, there may be say 100 students in a classroom or 80 students in a classroom. It is not possible for all the students to respond to the query put forward by the teacher. So there may be some students who are really active, those who really know the answer, they want to give the response quickly, so they respond to the teacher's queries. So what is the purpose? Main concern of the student is what? just to give the answer that is expected by the teacher. So whatever queries are there, it is relating to the content which is being taught. And whatever response the student is going to give, it should definitely have an answer that is expected by the teacher. This is IRE. Okay, IRE stands for initiation, response and evaluation. The teacher's role is also what? She has to ask questions in between so that the desired answer, she gets the desired answer from the student. This is the first step, or we can say first element in the structure of your oral discourse, IR. This we know giving instruction. This is the second form of providing oral discourse in the classroom. Now, what kind of instructions can a teacher give? The instruction can be given by way of a teacher, by way of a direction, by way of an information, by way of a command. Okay, for example, the teacher says all the students open your notebook and copy the main points. Okay, so what she is telling is she is giving instruction to the student to open the notebook and copy the chalkboard work. Secondly, she may also say, when she is going to ask question, we say, please close your notebook so that I can ask evaluation questions. This is again instruction which is being given. Now, command is different form of instruction, where she would command the students to keep quiet in the classroom. Okay, if you disturb in the classroom, you will be sent out of the classroom, or you will be asked to stand up on the bench, or you will be given some kind of other constructive punishments. So this is the response given by the teacher by way of an command. Okay, instruction, command will also be there. So different forms of instruction the teacher can give. She can also ask the students, suppose it is a science class, the teacher can ask the students to look over the chalkboard work, and then the students can copy the same thing, and she may also draw certain charts or certain pictures, or she can perform an experiment in the classroom. At that time she is giving the direction, all of you will come one after the other, and you will see the color of the gas which is turning to another color. Okay, information question, she will just say, now observe, there are different changes in the color of the paper, maybe litmus paper. Okay, so when she is going to give this is informative statement. So whatever she is going to do in the classroom, she has to do it by way of, say, instruction in different forms. Remember, different forms, maybe it may be a command, it may be a request also. So a request can also be in the form of, please do not disturb when the experiment is made, or please do not touch any kind of the equipments in the laboratory. These are certain kind of instruction by way of a request. Okay, please, kindly, you all know the courteous words which are being used. So this also is definitely used in a classroom. The next important, probing is a very important question. It's a kind of an oral discourse. Probing questions. What are these probing questions? Probing questions are questions which is of an higher order maybe, and it also develops certain kind of critical thinking among the students. And it also, probing questions can also be clue giving questions. Maybe you ask them, when you feel that the students are going to give the correct answer, you try to help them by giving certain clues. Yes, this is correct, so what next has to be added? So in this way, when you are going to ask the questions to the students are going to respond. So it is a more complex structure with less defined rules. Probing questions are very important. Okay, you should know how to ask these probing questions. It is a clue giving questions or higher order questions. Maybe maybe why, maybe how it is so, why the color is changing continuously, why the lime water turns milky. Okay, all those many questions we can ask in any subject. So this is acting as a challenge to the teacher's position, and the students are also encouraged to give longer answers through their thinking. So it is somewhat, we can say, it is a kind of an application question also. Okay, whatever the teacher is teaching in the classroom, she tries to give a new situation and find out why in this situation the market demand is less of this product. Why during the summer season the demand for, say, woolen cloth is less. So in geography also such question can be asked. Why do people prefer wearing cotton clothes during summer? Why do people prefer wearing white clothes during summer? So these kind of questions you can ask, higher order questions which probes, which makes them think. And clue also we can give them by saying that in winter people usually wear wool which is thicker. So in summer why do people wear cotton clothes? So you are giving a clue. So the students will relate to the wool and the cotton. They come to know about the material and they come to know the effects of such material on our body. Okay, so this is the meaning of probing questions. Now evaluation does not come immediately after students' responses. Okay, immediately after students' response, we may take, once the probing question is asked during the classroom, we do not jump to evaluation in the final stage. We try to explain it, we try to elaborate it also, and once the class is done, once the students have understood every aspect of the content, the teacher may express praise for the process the students have followed, and he does not pursue the correct aggressively. What is the meaning of this? The teacher may praise for the process. Yes, the students have followed a very systematic process because the teacher is definitely has initiated. She is using the probing question, and if the students are not giving the answers correctly also, that's okay. So he does not pursue the correct aggressive. So he cannot say, yes, this is the answer only which I am expected, because there are many answers which the students are going to give based on your. Next is argumentation. Now, what is argumentation? This is not like argument in the classroom. This is an, we can say, a challenging type of a classroom where the teacher tries to justify her reason why did she say so. And the students would also like to get the explanation from the teacher that why this thing is happening in the classroom, why this is so. So the questions usually asked are referential question which try to invoke prediction. Prediction means in future why it will happen so, why the this thing what to say your tsunami usually takes place in November or December in southern places, because there is always a yeah, wave which is being accumulated in the southern region. So now we had this storm also which had come 2 days past. Again we are expecting another storm in southern place. So why does it happen? In future also would it be happening? So if the teachers ask, if the students ask, there is always an explanation and clarification from the student. So the teacher can definitely ask, yeah, why it is coming only in Orissa, why not it is coming in Mumbai, why the earthquake is always prone to Rajasthan or may say Orissa, which is a coastal area, even Goa also, why does flood accumulate over there? So people, so the students think, critically, and they would like to give explanation or clarification. How do we give the clarification? Maybe with reference to certain previous happening which has already happened. So it may be taking the argumentation, maybe in a question form or in statement form. So this is what I believe, teacher, that the Goa, which is the people who are located near the sea, they are more prone to being getting hot waves during the summer because of heat waves which is passing through there. And during the evening there is long cool breeze which is for the people who are residing near this place. So I feel, so the teachers or the students can clarify. I believe because the wave which is passing over the sea continues giving cool breeze because the sun is going to set over that time. So a statement can also be given by the students, and a clarification is also needed from the students. If any topic needs to be discussed, it has to be to and fro. Okay. So it may take a question. Now let's move to the second important topic in this, questions. So what is the importance of question? Just now I told you, even in your assignment you have a question on different types of questions are also there. So what is questioning? It is a series of questions which is being asked. Okay, so it is an important, why questions are asked in the classroom. There are different purposes of asking question. It is for stimulating thinking and learning. It is for bringing the teacher and the students into close contact, motivating mental efforts, stimulates reflective thinking, and lead learners to creative efforts. So the teacher and the taught, when they are taught in the classroom, the teacher is going to ask certain questions which would promote reflective thinking. So in any classroom you see, without question, you cannot expect the clarification from the student. You cannot know whether the students are correct or not. You cannot evaluate your students. So there are different purposes of questions. So the importance of questions, as I said, very important, is maybe explain the importance of questioning as a form of oral discourse or as a structure of oral discourse. It helps to, no, it is not a form actually. One question was probing question. This may be asked maybe as explain the importance of questioning in a classroom. So it helps to obtain information, maybe with reference to the content, any queries which is being asked, the students are responding. It also helps to identify gaps in knowledge. Any gap is there the students have not understood, the teacher can ask further questions, the students can get the answer for that, whatever the answer the students is expecting. Gives feedback. Yeah, by asking questions, the student, we can also give feedback to the students, how well the answer has been given by the student. So it helps in giving feedback through questions like how the students have performed in the classroom, depending on their answers given. It also motivates students for active participation. Yes, without the questions being asked in the classroom, there will not be any kind of interaction which is going to take place. Questioning is a form which helps the students to participate more. It also helps in oral communication skills. Questioning also assists in moving from lower level thinking to higher order thinking. Like we have simple questions which starts from WH type of questions. Which, when, who, whom, all these are WH type of questions which are called as lower level questions, which promote lower level thinking, which are memory based. When you talk about higher order thinking, we are talking about how and why type of questions. Now, development of creative thinking, also when you ask higher level of questions to the students are definitely going to think creatively and are definitely going to give very good responses. Last but not the least is the evaluation of self and the learners. What happens when you ask questions? You try to evaluate yourself, that is the teacher. The teacher evaluates to herself with reference to how far the students have understood the content. By asking the questions, if the students are going to respond properly and correctly, that means the teacher has done a good job. She has taught the content what it is required. Okay. So, and the learners also, for evaluating the students' comprehension also, we do have this evaluation of self and the students. Next part, very important part, which are the different types of questions. So you all know what are memory type of questions. Simple question which is having a specific answer irrespective of whoever is asking. So name the capital of India, there is only one answer. When was Shivaji Maharaj born? One answer. Even if a history teacher asks, if a geography teacher asks, if a language teacher asks, the answer is supposed to be one. These are memory questions. All these type of questions should be included in the classroom by the teacher as far as possible. Second is organizing question logically. In what way does the shape of the moon change? Okay, one after the other, logically, sequentially. These are called organizing questions which is asked by the teacher. Then what type of the pattern does the shape of the moon follow? So all these are certain organizing question which is following a series of steps, which is following logically what happens to the first shape, how does the shape move, how does the shape become half, then 3/4, like that, how does it move. Okay. Then information question, these are also called, some of them are called as memory type also, because memory we just recognize and recall. Now information are also WH type of questions, maybe what are the different parts of a flower, where do you live, when is Gandhi Jayanti celebrated. So if you see, for all this answer also there is specific question. The question is asked, where do you live? You have to tell your address. You are not staying in 10, 20 places. Your answer is only one. Similarly, different parts of a flower, it is fixed for all the flower type of flower. We have got different parts. Similarly, Gandhi Jayanti also we celebrate it on October 2nd. So that is also we are going to ask the students. So such kind of question depending on your content. The teacher should be able to ask different form of question, different type of question, so that the students understand what is being taught and the teacher also understands. Then interpretation question. Observe the data and interpret the results. This is a beautiful question for statistics. Okay, even bar graph we have got in statistical paper in maths also we give certain data and ask the student to interpret the data, like how many population is there in the northwestern part. Even in geography we have very important, where we show the map, we also show this diagram, where we show histogram, we give them a graph and ask the student to interpret, observe the data. What data, in which year the population, even in economics also we can give, in which year was the population most, in which year is called as the division, great, what the division of great divide, year of great divide it is called, 1921. So you can give different data and ask the student to interpret the results. Okay, then interpret the findings of the results from the survey. This is for higher class questions also, even for higher standard like 11th and 12th also. When the students are going to conduct certain survey, the teacher is going to interpret the finding. For example, if there is certain project which is being given to the student. So when the project the student does, after coming back, the teacher asks to interpret the findings. Yes, you have conducted the result, you have conducted the survey. Now tell me the results. Okay, this is interpretation question. Then what does the x-axis reflect? Like we have in your x and y axis, we have in your graph also. So what does it reflect? So all these things will be, these are called as interpretation question. So x axis may be the age, x axis may be the year. What does y axis reflect? So all this also we can ask. Next we have causal reasoning. These are cause effect questions, like how are Orissa prone to cyclones? Okay, maybe why do earthquakes occur? So this is a very high level type of questions, how and why questions we say. Critical thinking questions. So cause and effect. Why is the population more in an urban area as compared to a rural area? Why do people migrate to Mumbai? Okay, then how are, we can say, the standard living of an area measured? This is how simple one. But if you ask why, there is always a cause effect. With this, these are the different types of oral discourse. Talking about discussion based learning, that was we were discussing. The what is the meaning of discussion as such? It is a talk between two or more people. As a teacher would like to give a certain topic or certain thing which can be talked about many people in the group, but in which thoughts, feelings and ideas are expressed. Questions are also asked and answered, or news and information is exchanged, where we could see that students were sharing their own information on COVID-19, and the information was also shared between the students, and it was shared between the teacher and the students, and the information is also exchanged based on the certain topic which is being done for discussion. It is an instructional approach that provides learner acquisition of knowledge, skills and attitudes through discourse rather than passive approaches that focus on lecture, reading or viewing. So this kind of a discussion based learning is more of interactive in nature. This is one of the interactive way of learning, wherein there is acquisition of knowledge, skills and attitude through discourse, through talks, rather than just students sitting passively and listening for themselves. So that basically it focuses on inter-exchange or interactive learning. Okay, you should remember this. Then it provides deeply engaging learning experiences, particularly when outcomes are complex or require application and synthesis. If this is a discussion based on how would the COVID-19 has affected our economy, how would the vaccine help in overcoming the problems due to COVID-19, such questions relate to application. So many of us really feel that when the vaccine do come for this COVID-19, it will definitely help to solve so many problems with reference to the life of the people. Okay, people would be more confident in moving out. Otherwise, there is always a phobia that no, if I move out, I may get COVID-19. But the vaccine as a precautionary measure, people will be moving more freely and they would also be more confident, and positive attitude would develop so that they will know that no more the COVID-19 will affect us. It also enables students' involvement through instructor directed questions and student participation. You could see that in any discussion based learning, the teacher definitely poses the questions. The students also participate with reference to the answers. There may be other differences of opinions from other students. Again, there may be some kind of probes which is given by the teacher. This is how the discussion based learning moves. So this was the simple meaning of discussion, the nature or the features of to the importance of discussion based learning. These are all things which we have done that in during discussion. So active learning, students are more active because they know at any time the teacher may call out for them and there is a discussion on the topic set. Coherence in thinking means togetherness. That is feeling of the thinking whenever any topic is given for discussion. The students think from that point of view. So there is a coherence or we can say a positive relationship in the thinking of the student. The students think on that line of the topic which is there for discussion. Different perspectives can be viewed. Yes, if I ask the question about the effects of COVID-19, students would come out with the effects on the society, effects on the economy, effects on the personal friend, effects on the family members. So many things are there. So different perspectives can be viewed through discussion based learning. So discussion is not only just question and answer, it may be different answers. Whatever responses the students give, that is accepted, and there is further more discussion on the topic which is being given. So it moves on and on. It also develops interest among the students. I am sure that when a topic, interesting topic is there for discussion, the students' interest is given out more. Like so some students may volunteer themselves for telling certain points in that. Some students may share their real life experiences with reference to the content which is being discussed. So it develops interest and also it maintains the attention of the students. Students are continuously involved. They feel that anytime I would be asked to give the response by the teacher. And they also think beforehand what may be the possible response which I would give to the teacher. So it develops interest, and moreover, if the topic of discussion is very interesting and if it is relating to the students' interest, students will definitely be able to contribute more. Ensures mutual respect. Now the persons in a classroom are basically the teacher and the student. So mutual respect means respect for each other. That is, the teachers have respect and students should also respect the opinion, the suggestions, the ideas which is given by the students in discussion based learning. Very important. So unless and until there is a respect for the opinion got from the students may not further give any answer if it is not reciprocated. So there is a mutual respect between the teachers and students in discussion based learning. It also makes the content easy to understand. Yes, if this topic for discussion is being simply taught, if I tell them if I tell the students in the class of the meaning of COVID, how it is caused, where it was found, what are the symptoms, if all these things were done in the lecture method or given only in a point wise, it may not, some points may not be clear from the point of the student. So what is happening during discussion, when the points have been discussed from so many angles, the content is made easy to understand. So one of the important part of discussion based learning is it makes the content easy for the students to understand. It also provides opportunity for all the types of students. Yes, I cannot say only this student will answer, this student will not answer. No. At random, any students can be picked up. They may have to give their response. Okay. And it is for everybody. Suddenly, if some students say, Madam, I would like to say something on that, the teacher accepts it and the teacher opens the platform for the respective student. So that student is given the opportunity. So all students in the classroom can definitely participate in discussion based learning. This is also one of the importance of discussion based learning. Better retention. Yeah, if you learn something through the discussion, you are able to retain the knowledge for a longer period of time. So any knowledge which is gained through discussion, it is being retained for a longer period of time. So it is not only for a short period, but whatever you have gained the knowledge in the classroom, it is going to be retained by you. So anytime when you in the future life also, if somebody talks about the COVID-19, immediately you will recollect the points which was discussed in one class. So it is making things to be retained over a longer period of time by the students. Clarity in content. Yeah, by way of discussing, by way of pouring in different views, if there is content which is being clarified, so the content is easily clarified during discussion. Any student, if they have got any queries, if they want to ask something, if they want to put their suggestion, if they want to put their opinion, they are free to contribute during a discussion based learning. What happens after that, when they contribute, they are also clarified. They get clarification with reference to the content. Develops better comprehension, better understanding. Had it been told only by the teacher about certain points, the student might have missed certain points, or they would have not understood certain points. But in a discussion, since many angles are being opened up, many people put their own contribution. There is difference of share. There is also sharing of ideas and opinions in discussion. It leads to better understanding. Comprehension means learning with understanding. Last is, it is the student's learning approach. So discussion based learning is one of the student centered approach. Okay, it is basically an interactive learning session, and the students are kept at the pivotal role. It is the teachers are just facilitators. So any topic which is being discussed, teacher is just putting questions or probing questions, or giving a platform for them to open up. So basically it is a student centered learning. This is the last one. This is the forms of discussion. If you see, all these forms can take up in discussion. Even during your interview, there may be panel discussion, which is also one of the group discussion. So group discussion is one of the type, wherein entire group of the students are made to sit and the topic is being given. It is somewhat similar to your brainstorming. Topic which is being given, all the brains are put together, they discuss amongst themselves and then they share it. Group discussion also, there are the topic which is distributed, maybe parts of a topic which is being distributed. The students interact among themselves and they share whatever they have discussed in the group with the class and with the teacher. Okay, then even in your interview also, you must have learned about panel discussion. That is one of the type of group discussion. What is happening in panel discussion? There is a panel of members who are expert in certain field. Suppose you go for a job as a science teacher or a language teacher or a social science teacher. When you appear for an interview, suppose there is a panel interview. Now, what is the panel consisting of? The panel members may be a representative, maybe from the management, representative from the school teachers, senior vice teachers also, and subject experts also you will get. So these people, suppose it is in science, the panel will include persons from the science field. So in this kind of discussion, what is happening is the panel put forth the questions to the interviewee, that is the person who is going to answer the questions in an interview. The panel puts forward the different questions to the interviewee. So the interviewee has to respond to the panel. So the one person may ask question, the response is given. Similarly, second person may ask some of the opinion. So the respondent has to give the opinion. So it is 1 is to maybe 7. So there may be 7 persons or 8 persons who are asking this discussion by query, by question answer method. One of the form of discussion you could see, question answer is very, very important. So that the panelist or the teacher has to initiate the discussion, maybe through question, maybe using certain clips, maybe using certain say animated movies, maybe using certain role plays. So something has to be initiated through question answer method, using any techniques for that matter. Similarly, so in a panelist also, these panelists are ready with their questions with reference to the subjects on which the interview is going to take place. So there is an entire panel with the respondent. So there is to and fro communication. As I said, one of the form of discussion is verbal communication. Without communication, you cannot engage in discussion. Okay, verbal communication means orally, oral discourse also we know. So it is one of the form of discussion is through verbal communication. So how well the teacher is able to communicate to her students, how well the students respond to that kind of queries or communication by the teacher. So communication is always between two or more persons, where there is a person who is sending the message, the receiver receives, he tries to interpret and he gives the feedback. This is the usual process of communication. So definitely there is should be a verbal communication in discussion. Okay. Similarly, we have non-verbal gestures also. As when we had a discussion on this COVID-19, many students when they responded, I gave a smile, I nodded my head, I wrote certain things. So these were non-verbal gestures. If the teacher is just sitting and listening to you, you will not be able to understand whether this teacher is really listening, whether the teacher is really understanding what I say. Is my answer correct? So you will not get any response if there is no response from the other side. So that is not discussion. So when anything topic is given, when you say something, when the teacher is accepting, teacher also says, no, this is not the way you have to talk. Talk in another form, give another frame of sentence. So when she is going to give you a response, the students have to accept. Similarly, there are verbal and non-verbal reinforcement also, which is done during discussion. Okay, a good, a very good, a smile, a kind of gesture which makes the audience feel nice. Yes, the teacher has understood. Even the way of calling by names. Many of you who has participated today also, when I called out the names, you were really happy. Some of you were tensed, but many of you wanted to speak something because hardly you get chance to speak during this online teaching, because it is technology based. There are a lot of technical problems and the topics have also to be completed. So it is very difficult for you to get a chance to speak. So anytime when if a child is getting or a student is getting a chance, they really feel that they are in the part of the group. So such kind of thing is needed in a discussion. Similarly, we have dialogues. Now, what are these dialogues as such? It is between a person, two persons or more. So, query in the answer form. Again, a query in answer. So, to and fro, there is communication. So, it can be direct question and answers also. It can be dialogues in the form of statements also. Like some of you say, Madam, I agree that the COVID-19 has definitely a positive as well as negative impact on the society. So I would say then, could you just tell me some example? Could you just share some situation? So there is a dialogue between the teacher and the student. The main purpose of this dialogue is what? The main purpose of this dialogue is that the students come out with their own answers, come out with their own opinion, come out with their own suggestions. Okay. And then we have argumentation. Now what is argumentation? It is nothing related to arguing. It is not like a jagda karna in the classroom. No. What is the meaning of argumentation? Yesterday also when we had discussed about oral discourse, in one of the structure of oral discourse, this was their argumentation. Now what is argumentation? It is nothing but posing different types of challenging questions in the classroom. Yes, madam, I would really like to agree on that. Madam, I differ in this idea. Then the teacher will say, no, this idea is wrong. Could you just tell something else? Because this is affecting the society. I would not accept this answer. Tell me something else. So this kind of argumentation which is posing challenging tasks to the student. Even teacher can give challenging tasks for the students. If I ask you also, like how well the vaccine would come out with the development in the society. So you have to think in so many number of ways. So that is, then you would say that it would affect the society, it will help the people. But then there is also negative impact of the vaccine. Now every time it is going on trial. Just 2 days back also there was a news when I just went through one of the WhatsApp. I got a news that a lady from Chennai, she was given a vaccine for a testing period. She developed spinal and leg problems. So then she had filed a case with the court. Now say who is responsible? Now we cannot say it is because of vaccine or is it because of the earlier history of the lady. Because vaccine, why is vaccine given? Vaccine is tested for a longer period of time. So if it is going to have a negative impact on our body, then what is the use of vaccine? So vaccine, even you can see since March we are facing this COVID-19 situation, the vaccine has not still come out. Yes, it is in the process. It will be coming tomorrow, day after, or the next month, or next year, or after 2 years. Everything is a question mark. But definitely the purpose of vaccine is what? It acts as a precautionary measure so that any people, they do not get affected by this disease. So, but this, if it is being, it gets some negative impact on the person whom it is being given. That means this has to be studied. Similarly, there is a case that after post COVID-19, instances also, there are many instances where post COVID-19 people develop kidney complications. People earlier who were on dialysis, who had suffering kidney ailment, today they have to go for transplants. So there are so many things which is being affected because of the COVID-19. So will the vaccine definitely help everybody? If yes, how it is going to help? When it will be performed? Will it be suitable for all kind of bodies? Because each human being body is different from one another. Some people recover with one dose of the medicine which is given for COVID-19, though they are in ICU. Some people collapse. Some people also die during this COVID-19 treatment. It all depends on the body mechanism of the people. So we cannot say vaccine will be 100% good for everybody. Yes, it will be on an average, it is proven that yes, vaccine whenever it is going to come out, it will definitely have a positive impact on the entire economy. Yes, with that positive attitude it is being developed. But when it will be tested, what are the effects of taking the vaccine? How does it work on your body? Will you get again second time COVID-19? There are so many things. Now also people who have got COVID-19, they have recovered from that. Still there 1% or something, they come back with the second wave of COVID-19. They get again COVID-19. That is what it is written in many papers. So who are the people who are prone to this? Whose immunity system is weak? Why it is weak? How can we make them strong? How does this vaccine help them? These are all different kind of challenging questions. So such question, when it is being discussed in a classroom, using the technique of discussion, definitely it is an eye opener. Now the content which is also being discussed, that may be related to your topic, related to your subject, it may also be in general, like COVID-19 is in general. Definitely it is a part of science. Yes, it is the disease, everything is going to be now included in science also as a chapter. So even geography, in which areas it is being affected, which people are getting more prone. So many things, and max also, so many calculations, how many percentage in world, how much in India, how many things. So there is a lot of discussion which will be taking place if such topic is being taken for the discussion. Okay, so discussion is a very interactive form of learning, and it is a student centered approach, and it helps to learn the concepts very nicely. So different forms of discussion we saw: verbal communication, dialogues, question answer, brainstorming, argumentation, and group discussion. In group discussion also, I said panel discussion can also come. Okay, so these were some of the topic of discussion, meaning, importance, and the forms of discussion.